The reason I like flank steak so much is that, first of all, it's really inexpensive. Second of all, it's got a lot of flavor and it's also really lean. So we're going to make a yummy marinade for it. Let it sit for as long as possible. It'd be great if you could do it for like overnight or like a couple hours. We'll probably have this in here for like 20 minutes and that should be enough. We're going to start with about a half a cup of soy sauce, a half a cup of oil. It doesn't need to be exact, and I'm going to show you exactly how much a half a cup is so you don't have to measure it out if you don't want to. All right. So this is what a half cup of soy sauce looks like. Take your soy sauce, pour that in. Now we're going to get about the same amount of vegetable oil and put that in as well. I'm just going to use the same cup, pour about the same amount of oil in. This is canola oil, but you can use vegetable oil. You can even use olive oil if you want to, but I would recommend canola oil. On the website we'll have like the exact amounts, but if you're watching the video, this will give you like a visual representation of how much you need. Alright, it's time for the molasses. We're going to put in 4 spoonfuls and stir that around. Once again, this doesn't need to be exact. 1, 2, 3. That's basically the right amount. Next, 2 spoonfuls of Dijon mustard. You can also use mustard powder if you have that. Next, 2 spoonfuls of ground ginger. I'm using this rather than the fresh because this will keep a lot longer. So if you're going to make it again in the future, you have some of this left. Doesn't have to be exact, just basically a spoonful. Instead of MSG, we're going to put in 1 spoonful of sugar. Next, 6 cloves of garlic. Remember, we don't need fancy presses. We're just going to smash them apart and cut them up. All right, we've got our 6 cloves. Just take it and smash it down. Peel off that skin. Smash and peel. Just crush it, get that skin off. Take your knife and just kind of chop it up into little bits on your cutting board. You're not going to eat this, so it's not all that important. You're just using it for the flavor. All right, we're all chopped up. We're going to put that into our marinade. You're going to take a fork and stir it up. Make sure that molasses is all dissolved. We're going to cut open our flank steak. Lay that in a flat pan. Pour our marinade over the top of it. Let it sit for as long as we can. This is going to be awesome. Okay, we haven't done any grilling on this show yet because there's a lot of grilling shows out there, and I'm sure a lot of you know as much or more about grilling than I do. But this is just such a great meal that I thought it was worth going out and doing. I grill all winter long here in Minnesota. Like right now it's like -5 degrees Fahrenheit. And so this may go a little bit quicker if you're in a warmer climate. If you don't have a grill, you can roast this in your oven for about 20 minutes at 400 degrees. Again, it depends on how thick your steak is and how hot your oven gets, but we're gonna put this on our grill. Basically, get it warmed up. These are the basics and you know them. Make it so you can't keep your hand over for more than a second. About 400 degrees. We've got this all nice and marinated up. Again, let it marinate as long as possible. Do it the night before if you can. And then we're gonna drop this on. That is a good sound. We are going to do 4.5 minutes to 5 minutes on each side. Depends on how thick your steak is a little bit. And we're going to end up slicing this steak, so don't be afraid to cut into it to check it. Let's go set our timer for 4.5 minutes. All right, 5 minutes up. Flip it over. 4.5 to 5 minutes this side. All right, our time's up. We're gonna cut into this just to make sure. You want it pretty pink on the inside, so this is just right. We're gonna pull her off. Let her sit for 10 minutes. All right, our steak is done. We're gonna cover it with foil. Let it sit for 10 minutes. This actually completes the cooking. It brings the juices back in and finishes it all up. All right, we're gonna slice up our flank steak. It's been sitting, it's still nice and hot. Take it to a cutting board. We're gonna cut across the grain, kind of on an angle and down like this. This is kind of done medium here. If you want it cooked more, you can always put it back on. You can never cook it less. We're gonna put that back on our plate to serve that up, and we are ready to go. All right, marinated flank steak with tomato salad and French fries. Does it get any better than this? You'll love it.